Hi guys, I'm Shmee and welcome to episode 11 of The Road to GT8, although arguably that's no longer the most appropriate title because here it is, this is now my car. In episode 10 I picked it up here from the factory, Aston Martin's factory in Gaydon, Warwickshire, but today we're going to be driving over in the car, so my very first drive at the wheel of my new Shmeemobile, the Vantage GT8, heading from here to the NEC for the Autosport show, where the car is going to go straight onto display. Now, fortunately for me, the weather today is on my side. It's not too rough, so the car is going to stay quite nicely clean, which I was really quite worried about, but it's already been to Topaz, it's been detailed, it's got paint protection film on it, so it's good to be driven out onto the roads, ready for hopefully you guys to come along and see it at the show. Just a quick reminder, I'm sure you're fed up with hearing it, but this car limited to 150, the V8, the 4.7 litre naturally aspirated V8, combined with the 6-speed manual gearbox, make this a proper driving experience, and that is what it's all about. So I've been lucky enough to drive two already, one manual, one with the paddle shifts, but today is going to be the first drive in my GT8, the car I've spec'd and taken you along on this journey, the SH12 MEE plate worn there. It's car number 120 out of the 150. There are also 3 pre-production cars as well, but it's completely my spec. It's been 9 months or so, 9-10 months from ordering through to the build that we've been able to see, and now today out onto the road. So I think I should probably jump in and fire it up. In this little pouch is the glass key, so I'll take that out, get into the driver's seat. Actually, I should show you a little bit more of the interior first, and then head on the way to Autosport. So, let's step in, ready for my first ever drive. 13 miles on the clock, obviously from the testing and things manufacturers do prior to customers taking delivery of their new cars. I'm just fumbling for the key in my pocket while I do this, and then I've got that here. It's ready to fire it up. So, clutch down, the emotional control unit into the heart of the car. Wow, that sounded good here. Now, I'm sure some observant viewers might notice the nearly empty fuel tank. That is by intent, because the car is heading straight into an exhibition centre, so I had to ask Aston Martin to please provide me a car with no fuel in it, because unfortunately the rules say it has to be completely empty, so that's what we had to do. But I've got a short little drive now, the first ever drive in my GT8 with the manual gearbox, and naturally, I'm just a tiny bit excited, so let's get on the road and go for the first ever drive. Okay then, this is probably a moment I'm not going to forget for the rest of my life. Driving away my brand new Aston Martin from the factory for the first time ever behind the wheel of it. This is probably going to be quite exciting. Now, like I said, I've driven the GT8 before. I've driven a manual GT8 before, but there's something very different when it's your own car, and obviously delivery miles, completely brand new. It needs to be a little bit running, a little bit driven out and about on the roads before we get to doing anything silly with it or putting it into sport mode, just because the tyres are brand new, the brakes are brand new. It doesn't need too much running because the engine's already kind of being bench run, and the other guys are going to follow us here. So let's sneak out of the car park. You might have noticed the Lagonda Taraf I just drove past. 6 miles an hour, gently does it. Oh, it's so cool seeing the wing behind you. It's a bit of an ironing board. It's massive in the rearview mirror. Focus RS following, but this feels so good. It's so exciting. And how do you put into words collection day of a brand new car like this? Something this special. This is a limited edition GT8. This is sort of exclusivity, special, amazing. Here we go. I mean, this is a famous driveway. I've driven out of here many times this year in my trips up here. I've been in all of my cars that I've owned this year. The LT Spider, the FF. Oh, it's giving me a traffic announcement. Don't need to know about that right now. LT Spider, the FF, the GT4 when I owned it, my classic Mini and the Focus RS. They've all been here for a visit to the Aston Martin factory, and now I'm leaving in the car that they all came to see. Oh, there we go. Now obviously that's with the valves. This titanium exhaust system is absolutely ridiculous when you let it scream, but it lowers when the valve opens if you have it in sport mode. Oh, I would love to see what it looks like from behind. I just got this massive smile on my face. The weather's nice, the sun's poking through, sunglasses can go on. It's a new car kind of collection day, even the beginning of January, where basically I sort of assumed I was going to be picking it up in some kind of atrocious weather. Oh, but it's on my side. This is GT8, and we're on our way to Autosport. I think I just have to pop it in sport mode for a cheeky little try. Okay, you can feel it becoming more responsive. You can hear the valves opening up more. Oh my gosh! I can't wait until this is sort of run in and I can drive it hard. The burbles! The overrun! I thought it was good before. Now I'm excited. Refueled and back on the road, and I want to kind of talk a little bit about the car, not so much from a technical point of view, because I've done that when I did my sort of press drives, the manual car here at Gaydon and the paddle shift car when I drove that at the Nürburgring test centre in Germany. But I want to talk a bit more about my kind of emotional connections and reasons for buying the Vantage GT8. So if you rewind the clock back to 2010, I bought a 4.7 litre V8 Vantage Roadster. And that was what I would say was my first proper car. Before that I had the Audi S5 Cabriolet, but the V8 Vantage was really in a different league to the Audi convertible. It was my first sort of step into the world of luxury, baby supercars, so I've always had a strong connection to it. And the reason I bought the car then was because of how beautiful and iconic they were and what they represented, and everything about Aston Martin, the V8 Vantage, how that model along with the DB9 kind of rescued the company in the first place. Huge numbers of sales, lots of enthusiasm for it, and being British obviously it is even more special. Oh look, there it goes. There goes the yellow V8 Vantage while we're filming. So a lot of the sort of connection to me then was very exciting. So I've always been waiting after that car. I owned it for 20,000 miles in 2 years. I've always been waiting for the next Aston that I would like to buy. I've always wanted another one. And the GT12 came out, but I wasn't in the right position at the time. But this, when I got wind that Aston were making a manual driver's car, a special final edition of the Vantage in the V8 guise, I was basically sold immediately. It did not take any thinking time at all to slap down what was a £20,000 deposit before even seeing the car, to find out a little bit more about it, and ultimately end up with this car heading back towards my garage next week after Autosport. So this car, what it represents, 150 of them, limited edition. Yes, it's very expensive, but that is the exclusivity and the experience of being part of this kind of product. It celebrates what is now Aston Martin's victory in the World Endurance Championship at GTE Pro level. They were victorious in 2016, obviously the year that's just finished, so it's even more special that this is the road-going version of that GTE race car. That's things like the front cutaways, the wing, the shape of the diffuser. It's all very reminiscent of the racing Vantage, which again has been around for a while, and until the new Vantage is here I think has one more season of racing. But it's all very, very sort of exciting and personal thing to me. I know there are cars that are cheaper than this that would probably be better road cars. I mean, my AMG GTR will be one of those. That's, to my spec, £50,000 less than this is. It's quicker, it's got more technology to it, but it doesn't necessarily have those emotional sort of heartstrings clutching away at you that this has. The combination of the naturally aspirated engine and the manual gearbox, and what is a very raw, old school style feel. I mean, you have cars like the Cayman GT4, brilliant driver's car, utterly amazing, and the 911R, but I haven't driven that yet. The GT4 though had a very modern feel to it in the sense of being a manual, whereas this is old school, sort of like proper driving engagement, but with a modern twist, because it's only just been made. You've got the warranty and all of that, and everything is pretty beautifully held together. There are no sort of rattles or squeaks or funny noises that I'm hearing driving it so far. So it was, for me, a no-brainer. I was always going to buy this car. My spec, for those who are interested, it starts at £165,000 base price. My spec was about 210, just under, when you've added in all the carbon fibre, the titanium exhaust, the aero kit, and all the sort of different options, and custom trim, and Alcantara, and orange bits and pieces, left, right, and centre, and all the tech stuff as well. So yes, it's very pricey, I'm well aware of that, but there's something more to it that I think, unless you own one, you probably wouldn't understand. It's very complicated to explain this, how it just feels like a special thing to own. You know, it's like, it's a piece of art almost. Or an expensive watch. It doesn't need to do I mean, it does the basics, but it doesn't matter. It's everything that's beyond that, and the emotion that comes from driving it, and the feel of this gearbox, and the sound it makes when you drive it in noisy mode, and what it represents to buy an Aston Martin Vantage. And I want this to be a keeper in my garage. This thing it's a truly special car that hopefully sticks around for a very long time. Yeah, I mean, it's really, really exciting, and I'm so pleased to be able to share this whole story and the road to this car, to it arriving, to this, to me driving it away. And I can't thank Aston Martin enough for making all of that possible. But we're going to continue along, head towards a pub, I think, for lunch, on our way over towards Autosport, where the cars will be loaded in. This is a very unusual first drive, but a pretty exciting one. And I presume I've still got the same beam on my face that I had earlier when the cover came off. Yeah, wow, what a day. Well, I'm about 10 miles in. It feels pretty familiar, of course, from driving the Vantage before, but there's one thing I noticed that's new in the entertainment system here, which is that you've got vehicle status, then here you've got tyre, but you've also got power meter. So this is basically for driving on the track, but I suppose you can use it on the road, so long as you don't let it distract you. Hopefully you guys can see that, but it shows you literally your power, torque, and RPM count on a digital display on the central screen, which I just love nerdy stuff like that. It's quite small, but it's actually, oh, and it shows you sort of the peak you reached as well, before dropping back down. I'd love to play around more with that, probably when I'm in the passenger seat and can concentrate more attention on it, but it looks like a pretty nice display. And then if I go, how do I go back here with the button, no, on this side, then we can go to tyre status, and you've got the information about the pressures and tyre temps in there too. Obviously that does all your reversing camera and all the normal bits and bobs that you want in your entertainment system as well. I'm probably going to leave it on that display just because I think it's spot on. Character of this car in a nutshell. Lunch down, and I know you guys nearly always ask me what did I actually eat for lunch, given that, sounds so good, just about every road trip video we always have lunch stops and refer to it and never tell you. Well, I had a lovely gammon steak, egg and chips, which was a wonderful British pub lunch. But we're going to get back on the road now, heading to the NEC, where we'll unload this car. Complicated movements all around, but we're going to put this car on the stand we've got at Autosport, and then the McLaren is going to arrive shortly after. So a little bit of a chaotic day. I'm hoping we're going to beat the weather, which I can tell is slightly starting to go against me. Let's see what happens. I'm going to follow the Focus RS, who have a navigation set. I could have set one, but didn't want to at this stage. Just want to concentrate on driving. So, back to the road. Wow. Coming through some rock walls, even in the normal sort of quiet, comfortable setting, with the valves closing, it still sounds so good. So this is where we're driving on dirty countryside roads, and I'm a little bit worried about the mess that I'm inevitably making to the car that I have to clean off for the show stand later on. It's all not good. The car's so perfectly clean at the moment. Oh well, we do what we do. And a short while later, the sun is setting very quickly. It's still January after all. We are arriving at the NEC. So we've got to find out where we can actually do the unloading, you know, where the car goes into the hall. And then I'm going to see from the outside how dirty or not the car has got. Now normally I don't actually care about how dirty or not a car is. Obviously I use them all the time for all sorts of purposes, road trips, track days, whatever. The difficulty here is obviously I wanted the car to get to the show as clean as possible because it's going to be under some bright lights, and obviously everyone's going to be taking photos of it. Well, I'd rather assume that's what's going to happen. So hopefully it's not too bad and we can wipe it down. Obviously we've got the right kind of stuff to be using, plenty of microfiber towels as well, ready for the display. And the McLaren is completely spotless because it was literally put into a truck from a car wash. So that should be quite good, and that was prepared by Topaz as well. So we've got to find the right spot, and basically need to find out where this goes inside. So these bits have PPF, which means that you can wipe them clean very easily, and there was a lot of dirt. Well, you can see it on the inside. Even that edge bit there has been PPF'd. So I've got to pick a dirty side for the cloth. We can clean it up and see some of the nice bits coming through without me risking damaging anything. And for the rest of the body, I'm just going to be super careful with another cloth. Just get it right. I'm not going to touch the wheels because that would make a complete mess. But I've got a clean side and a dirty side. And I'm no detailer at all. I think you all know that. But I guess I can make the car look good. All of this around the front has all been PPF'd, so this is all fairly safe to just wipe down. It's self-healing, so even if you put some thin scratches in the protection film, those come out very easily. This is quite funny as a way of ending my first day driving my brand new car, lying on the floor at a motor show, giving it a clean. But hey, I want it to look really, really nice. See, we put on the extended splitters. And I haven't hit them yet, haven't hit it on the ground. A little bit worried about doing so, that's for sure. It is time to unload the McLaren, and fortunately it's not raining here either, so we can take that inside. But I want to shout out again all transports who have been brilliant at getting my cars moved around recently. Really, really appreciate it. Getting the car up here, and of course taking the cars back home afterwards. And we're just bumbling around in the Focus RS now. We've left the Aston. So drama here, well not drama really, but at Birmingham with all the cars. We'll get this inside. That should be quite exciting because it's going into what's called the live action arena, and that is basically because the car is going to be driven in the show that people get tickets for as being part of it and coming here to Autosport at the Performance Car Show. So quite excited about all of this. The McLaren is in the paddock and it's under the cover so that it doesn't get damaged or anything during the setup here. But I am very excited to get it out there into the live action arena, along with a lot of other awesome stuff that I know is in the works for this show. If you're coming down and you have a paddock pass, you'll also be able to walk in here and come around. We might be able to catch up around the car over here, and you'll be able to see all the other bits and bobs that are going on as well when all of the cars arrive. But this has been a pretty bizarre collection day of a new car. Obviously you've seen the collection itself going around the car, and today my first drive in the GT8 right here to the Autosport International Performance Car Show. My mind is boggled. It's got about 45 miles I think on the clock, which is a little bit different to say when I picked up the GT4 and drove it to Lyon in France with 630 miles on the first day. But it's nice and clean, it's on display for you guys hopefully to see it. The McLaren is here as well, and I am very much looking forward to what's going to be happening here. So there's a link in the description with a bit more information. The show itself is about to start, it's this weekend. It would be awesome if you're able to come along, but I am very much looking forward to it. Today has been, to use that cliched internet word, mega. It's been a lot of fun, so thank you very much for watching. I hope you're looking forward to the adventures that are going to be coming with the GT8. But that's it for now. Thank you very much for watching, guys, and I will catch up with you again very soon. Cheers!